The MotoGP world was once again filled with drama after the 2025 Balaton Park Grand Prix, amidst Pecco Bagnaia's slump. Mauro Grassilli made a surprising statement, highlighting Marc Márquez's extraordinary performance. Grassilli's remarks attracted attention and sparked speculation about Ducati's future dominance. Are Grassilli's comments a sign that Marquez is now Ducati's new powerhouse? Let's discuss. From the moment the green flag flew, FP1 in Hungary 2025 was full of dynamics. Fabio Di Giannantonio surprised everyone by opening the session with impressive speed and setting a time that briefly silenced the paddock. However, his moment in the spotlight was short-lived. Drama immediately ensued when Raul Fernandez's motorcycle suddenly caught fire on the side of the track. This forced the marshals to raise the red flag and halt the session. Thick smoke billowed, leaving riders tense as they prepared their strategies. After the restart, the competitive atmosphere intensified. Marc Márquez, who had appeared calm and collected from the beginning, gradually increased his racing pace. In his signature style, he surged forward and eventually claimed first place. His time of 1 minute, 37 seconds and 956 milliseconds seemed insurmountable until the end of the session, confirming his dominance since the beginning of race week at Balaton Park. Another surprise came from the KTM team. Both Pol Espargaro and Pedro Acosta showed impressive consistency, placing second and third respectively. This result confirmed not only the speed of the KTM package on the technical Balaton Park track, but also signaled that the Austrian team could pose a serious threat throughout the weekend. In contrast, Fabio Di Giannantonio, who had shown promise early on, lost momentum and dropped to 12th place. However, Francesco Bagnaia was in the biggest spotlight. The defending champion struggled to find his rhythm, falling behind in every sector. Ultimately, he could only manage 15th place, finishing 1.383 seconds behind his teammate Marc Márquez. This vast gap reopened old wounds and reignited the relentless comparisons between Bagnaia and Marquez that continued to haunt him throughout the 2025 season. The mental pressure was mounting, especially as the public began to question whether Bagnaia could maintain his status as a title contender in the shadow of his teammates' dominance. This poor result in FP1 in Hungary was simply a continuation of Bagnaia's negative trend in the last two rounds. The two-time world champion seemed to have lost his edge. He failed to reach the podium, while his main rival, Marquez, stood at the top with unstoppable performances. Many observers believe that Bagnaia's problems are not just a matter of motorcycle technicality or engine setup, but something deeper, mental. Former world champion Jorge Lorenzo bluntly stated that Bagnaia might have to reconsider his future at Ducati. Pecco would be more comfortable and motivated as the #1 rider for a manufacturer like Aprilia, Honda, or Yamaha. He's currently suffering in Marquez's shadow, Lorenzo said. As quoted by Motosun, Lorenzo emphasized that Bagnaia is psychologically exhausted from the immense internal pressure. Ducati had high expectations for Bagnaia as its main rider, but the situation has now reversed. Marquez, arriving as a new player, has immediately stolen the spotlight and assumed special status within the team. Meanwhile, Fermin Aldeguer, the star rookie of Gresini Ducati, has once again captured the attention of the MotoGP audience. After finishing second in last week's Austrian Grand Prix, Aldeguer's name has been increasingly highlighted as a rising star. Despite his young age, he has shown remarkable maturity in dealing with the pressures of premier-class racing. MotoGP legend Jorge Lorenzo has even called Aldeguer the only rider who can truly challenge Marc Márquez on the track. Aldeguer breaks later than anyone else. He can control the bike calmly, stay consistent, and maintain his rhythm even as the tires wear out. He's the future of Ducati, Lorenzo praised emphatically. Aldeguer's spectacular moves throughout the race were clear proof of this. His brilliant overtaking maneuvers on Pedro Acosta and Marco Bezzecchi thrilled the crowd and confirmed that he is more than just a lucky newcomer. Aldeguer has demonstrated the qualities necessary to pose a real threat to the veterans. With his aggressive yet controlled style, Aldeguer signals that a new generation of MotoGP riders is ready to take the lead. Many observers believe that, if this positive trend continues, Aldeguer could soon become a world championship contender. The Contrast within the Ducati-Lenovo team is increasingly apparent. Gigi Dall'Igna, the general manager of Ducati course, has acted as a calming force, trying to ease the tension within the team. He emphasized that Ducati remains determined to help Francesco Bagnaia break out of his negative spiral. When a rider starts to decline, everything seems to go wrong. But we have to help each other. We can't give up, said Dall'Igna confidently, emphasizing Ducati's unwavering loyalty to Bagnaia. However, Mauro Grassilli showed a different expression. Ducati's commercial and marketing director couldn't hide his joy at seeing Marc Márquez continue to dominate the track. Marquez's spectacular victory at the Austrian Grand Prix and his impressive lap time in the Hungarian free practice one session proved that bringing Marquez to Ducati was a bold move that is now paying off. Grassilli called Marquez's arrival a symbol of a new era, saying it has given Ducati greater confidence in facing the competition. The contrasting attitudes of the two Ducati executives mirrored the dynamics within the team. While there is a push to bolster Bagnaia's morale and performance, there is also significant enthusiasm surrounding Marquez's emergence as a new icon. Ducati is now at a crossroads, facing the choice of maintaining internal harmony or allowing the spotlight to shift more toward Marquez, who is currently at the peak of his performance. After last week's Austrian race, Francesco Bagnaia made a brief but meaningful statement. When asked by the media if his patience with Ducati had run out, he replied with two simple words: enough. That short answer came as a shock. It was a short sentence, yet it carried great weight from a two-time world champion under immense pressure. For some, it was simply a momentary expression of emotion. But to MotoGP fans and observers, those words symbolized the fragility of a champion's mentality. He now seemed to be at a crossroads, torn between continuing to fight with Ducati and seeking a new direction to salvage his career. This practice session in Hungary was about more than just speed. It was also about the mental resilience of each rider. Marc Márquez once again proved himself to be in a class of his own, demonstrating extraordinary consistency and an unshakable focus, despite the pressure from his opponents. KTM also sent a clear warning signal through the performances of Pedro Acosta and Pol Espargaro, confirming that they are ready to pose a real threat for the rest of the season. On the other hand, Pecco Bagnaia is actually getting worse. He is losing speed compared to his rivals and is starting to fade into the background of his own teammate, who is now appearing much more confident on the track. This puts even more pressure on Bagnaia because he must prove himself not only against his opponents, but also within the Ducati garage, which is shifting the spotlight to his teammate. Will Balaton Park once again be the stage for Marc Márquez's glory, or will this be a turning point for Bagnaia? Leave your thoughts below.